Hello, Team Missouri family and fans. This is a video to help you try and understand the Whova app, which is what we will be using to communicate with all of you while we're in Seattle. So whether you are attending the games in Seattle or you're just watching from afar and you just want to get daily updates on how everybody is doing, the Whova app is probably the best way. It is the best way to stay in contact with the team and receive daily updates. So we're going to kind of go through each little section of the app. So this will be a little bit of a longer video, so feel free to kind of skip ahead if you've already downloaded the app or you already understand a section, but this is the best opportunity for us to kind of explain how the app works. So let's go ahead and start with step one in downloading the app itself. So I've deleted the app from my iPad to show you step by step what you need to do. So whether you're on your phone or your tablet, you're going to go into whatever app store you use, whether it's Google Play or the Apple. Oh no, of course, that's not going to work. Sorry, hang on. Told you it's going to be a long video. Okay, so you're going to go into your app store, and you're going to search. Sorry, the glare is going to be really annoying. So what you're going to do is you're not going to search Team Missouri, you're not going to search 2018 USA Games, you're going to search Whova. W-H-O-V-A. Search. Okay? Then what's going to come up is this app right here, Whova. Okay? So you're going to click download, and it shouldn't take too long. So like I said, this is the best way while it's downloading, and I don't really want to edit this video later, so just stay with me. This is the best way for all of you to kind of stay up to date with the team. We'll be sending out newsletters, we'll be sending out announcements once the medal rounds start. Again, this is great for if you're going to Seattle or if you're staying back home and watching from afar. There's something for everybody. So we think that this app is going to be the best way for you to get all your Team Missouri information. So, now that it's downloaded, you're going to go open. Okay, so this is what your screen looks like. Then, what you're going to do is, this is very, very important, okay? So, make sure that you have it set up to where you do allow notifications, okay? Otherwise, you're going to have to change that later. So what you're going to do first is you're going to find your event. Okay, so right now it's showing all the events in its archives, or its current events. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to search Team Missouri, and look what comes up. The very first one, the only one. You're going to click it, touch it, whatever. And then it's going to give you a description of the app. But then down here at the bottom, you're going to click Join. Okay? So, you can either sign in with your Facebook account, or you can sign up using your email. I would prefer using your email, because that way, when we send out notifications later, helps if I spell my name right, when we send out notifications later, it will not only be pushed to your app or your phone, but it'll also be pushed to, or it'll also be sent to your email. So you're going to see it either way. So, continue. Alright. Now, because I already had an account on my phone, it's recognizing that, and it's saying welcome back. Okay, so I just need to type in my password. So for some of you, if this is the first time you've created it, you may need to import or input more personal information: first name, last name, email, and that should be pretty much it. Okay, so I'm going to put in my password. So I'm logged in, okay? So if this is the first time that you've used this app, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to kind of give you a tutorial on what all of the buttons do, where everything is located. You can skip it just by tapping anywhere on the screen, or you can kind of go through step by step. Make sense? Okay, so for those of you who have already downloaded the app, whether it be because you've had summer games, you download it for summer games or for indoor games, what you need to make sure you do is there are two different ways to switch your event. So, for example, if for some reason you are in summer games, okay? So you're in summer games. To switch to your other event, you'll see this switch event button right here. Okay, you can click that or touch that, and then it takes you to this screen, and then you can pick Team Missouri. Okay? Or you can do it by going up to the menu, go to all my events. Sorry, this is more difficult than I thought it was going to be. And then choose it here. Okay? So it'll show you the loading screen, and then it'll take you to the app. So, 6 minutes in, we're finally at the home screen. Alright? So, this is your home screen. It's not going to look exactly like mine does because I have admin rights, so you're not going to see any of this stuff here in the middle. But the idea is that you're going to have the team photo, the logo, all four of these buttons here, and the About section. Okay? Or the Details section. Every night we will be sending out newsletters. Okay? Every single night we will be sending out newsletters with updates on the team. So it could be, as little as one paragraph on how the basketball team did that day with a couple of quotes. Or it could just be details, or it could be a couple of paragraphs where we include quotes from the coaches or the athletes. But the idea is that we will have a report on whatever that team did that day. So if they had an off day, we'll say, well, they had the day off and they went downtown or they went to a Mariners game. But the idea is that every night you will have these newsletters. Not only will they be sent to, if you signed up for the app, not only will they be sent to your email, but you will also be able to find them in the news and maps section. Okay? So I'll go into a little bit more detail on this later. But as you can see, we've already kind of uploaded a handful of documents. So our fact sheet, all of the venues and maps on how to get to each venue, as well as just kind of an overview document about the USA Games. Okay? So all the newsletters will be located here. If you do not get them in your email, you can basically download them as a PDF and read them on your phone or your tablet. Okay? When awards start being handed out, or if there is a change or just a generic announcement that we need to send out to everybody who's downloaded the app, we will do so. So let's go ahead and start there as far as making sure you understand where the announcements are at and how to set them up to make sure that you're receiving the push notifications. Okay, so first step is to go into your personal Whova app settings. You're going to click on Menu in the upper left-hand corner. Then you're going to click on Settings. Okay? So, you want to make sure that both of these boxes are checked, okay, to receive notifications. Make sense? So, once you have that, you want to make sure that on your tablet or your phone, you've set up the Whova app to make sure that it's okay for you to receive notifications. So, again, it's going to look a little different for some of your, if you're using an Android, but the idea is still the same. So you're going to go into Settings. Then you are going to scroll all the way down until you get to the Whova app. Okay? So you're going to click Whova. And then over here, it's asking, you go into Notifications, And you want to make sure all of these are turned on. Okay, you can turn them off later if you're getting too many notifications, but at least for right now, turn them all on. Okay, so this means that if I send out a notification on the app, or an announcement, you would get not only a notification in the app itself, so let me find it, not only would you get a notification like down here, like it says I have 2 messages, okay, you would also get it pushed to your home screen. So if your phone is in standby mode, or basically like your screen's off, you would get it pushed to your home screen. So you would see it right here. Make sense? Okay. Okay, so if you have missed a notification or an announcement, if you have missed an announcement or you want to refer back to it again because you can't remember exactly what it said, all of the announcements are in one centralized location. If you go into Community, down here at the bottom, Community, you can just kind of exit out of this. This just shows up the very first time that you go into Community. You don't have to say hello to everybody. But anyway. So up here at the top is Organizer Announcements. This is where, as you see, we have not posted any announcements yet. So, but once we do, they're going to start piling up right here. And actually, I can show you what it looks like from the Summer Games one. So if we go into Summer Games, Community. So this is eventually what it will look like for Team Missouri. So you can go in and you can reference all of these past ones. So if you missed a newsletter or you couldn't remember what Brett Harper got in his final track competition, you can come back here and reference it. All you need to do is you can click on this See More button and it'll expand it and it'll show the whole announcement. Make sense? Alright, so now that you should be receiving notifications, anytime we send out an announcement, like I mentioned, or someone sends you a message, like a personal message, you will receive that notification. So I'll talk a little bit more about personal messages, or basically it's like sending text messages or group messages. I'll talk a little bit about that later. So let's start with the agenda. So let's go back into our Team Missouri mobile app. Okay. So this is just the load screen. Alright, so let's go into the agenda. So down here at the bottom, those are all your menu buttons. Okay, so go into agenda, and as you can see, everything is broken down by days. Okay. So the very first day, there's no competition. It's just opening ceremony, and the fan zone is open. So when you go into each of these, you will see that they all have detailed information at the top: time, date, location, and then there's a little description here as well. You can expand that description by clicking the See More button. Sorry, I did that a little quick. By clicking the See More button, and it gives you more details. Okay, and that's on every event. Now, the agenda is more for people who are actually attending the games, just because you can actually add it to your personal agenda. You can build your own personal agenda based on just following the basketball team around or just following powerlifting, whatever it may be. So if you aren't attending the games in Seattle, you can kind of skip ahead a little bit. But the idea is that this is mostly for people who are attending, being in attendance in Seattle. So, to show you how to add things to your personal agenda, you go into the event itself. So we're still in opening ceremony. Okay, so say I want to add that to my agenda so I can look at just my stuff later on. So I'm going to click this button, add to my agenda, And it gives you a little friendly reminder thing, okay? So you can remind yourself 10, 20, or 30 minutes before the actual event, or you can click no reminder, okay? So now that it's checked, it means I've added that to my agenda. So now let's go into a competition event. So let's go on Monday. So this shows a breakdown of all of the events, including competition, because competition begins on Monday, of all the things. So let's go ahead and do bocce. So bocce on Monday, I want to add that to my schedule as well. So we click the plus button here, no reminder. Okay, now it's a check mark. Make sense? All right. So what we're going to do, sorry, I need to change a couple of things here, I see. Okay, so now in order to see your personalized schedule, you're going to click the back button. Sorry, I did that a little quick. The back button up here. And now it's showing this little blue check mark next to bocce. So it means it's on your agenda. So you can come up here. Let's go ahead and add one more thing to my agenda, just to show you. All right, so we're adding tennis singles on Monday. So anyway, if you go up here now to my agenda, it'll show you everything that you've already saved. So right now, it's showing me that I am planning on attending bocce and tennis. And you can also add in your own little thing too. So if you're going out to dinner, or you're going out to lunch, or you're just going to do an activity around Seattle and you want to make sure that you don't forget, you can add your own activity in. Okay? When you go into these competitions, or these competition events, you will see that there are speakers for these events. Now the speakers is just a fancy way, that's just their way of saying, like, it's our delegates. So anytime you see speakers, doesn't mean they're actually speaking. It just means that we couldn't change the definition on that on the back end of the app. But it's basically saying what athletes, coaches, and sport managers are on that team or will be competing. I'll go into this a little bit more later. But just keep in mind, especially for those of you who are going to Seattle, this schedule will change on a daily basis. Okay? We may think we have the schedule set at 10 p.m. on Wednesday for Thursday's competition, and we may wake up on Thursday morning finding out that the schedule changed. The best way for you to keep in contact with your coaches if something changes is using the messages section that I'll go over later. Okay? I will try my best to kind of keep up with these schedule changes, but I won't be able to change everything, especially if they don't let us know. And by they, I mean like the Games Organizing Committee, the GOC of USA Games. So just keep in mind that if something changes or you're not sure if it changed, message your coaches. Don't text them. Group message them, and we'll go over that later, like I said. So for all sport competitions, instead of putting individual times, I'm just going to kind of bring this down. Instead of putting individual times, I just did a generic. It's going to last from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Because, again, things are going to change so often that it's easier for me to just build in that whole day. And then the way I will break it down for you is if you go to See More. Once I have competition times for specific athletes, so once we know that Shaquana is participating in the shot put. I will put Shaquana Hobbs, or I will put shot put, and then I will list all the athletes and their times. I will list 100-meter run, athlete, and all their times. Okay? It will be in this section. I will not build it into the overall schedule because it is too difficult to do that and too difficult to kind of keep up with. So, these things will stay the same. Plus, if you're already adding them to your agenda and I go in and build up a new agenda item to break it down into individual heats or competitions like at swimming or at track and field, you're not going to notice that until it's too late sometimes. So the best way for me to do it is, again, I will put it in the See More section and I will break it down here. Okay, so right now, as you can see, it just says 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. singles tennis. Once I know when our guys are going to be playing, I will put that in this section here. Okay. Then what you can do, because I showed you how to add things to your own agenda, is go into my agenda section, click here, and you can add it in saying Lucas plays at 11:30 and 2:30 on Tuesday. Make sense? Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to who's actually considered attendees. So, if you go down here, click on the attendees button. This shows every single person who's downloaded the app. Okay? That's fans, that's family, friends, everybody, staff members. So if you're trying to look at just delegates, just Team Missouri athletes and coaches, you go up here to this little filter section, click filter, and then you can choose. I've broken it down into athletes, coaches, delegates, which is both of these people together, and then fans. And fans, I think everybody who downloads the app is just by default a fan. But say you want to look up a bio for somebody in particular. You can go to the delegates and then find them. Okay, and then you can look at their bio here. You can also send them a message. And this is great for, or you can search for them by name. Oops. Doing this backwards and it's really hard. You can just type in a name, and as soon as you start typing, it'll pull them up. So, for our delegates, you will see that they should be connected to the competitions that they're a part of. So, not only can you read their bios, as I showed you before, I don't know why it's not showing up, but you can see it says they're speaking at, but again, speakers are just defined as delegates. So it just shows you, like if you want to search Thomas Cleek, you can see exactly what he's tied to. Click on that, and then it's tied to that event. Then you can kind of hop into it, click See More, just like before, and see that he is competing at X time. So, this is not only a great way for you to find your athletes and their bios that you're interested in following, but it's also a perfect opportunity for you to search and find other family and friends who are attending. So, you know that other basketball parents are going and you know their name. So rather than needing to exchange phone numbers, you can just search for them if they downloaded the app. Make sure they downloaded the app. Search for them up here. Okay, we're just going to use Robin as an example. And then what you can do is you can send them a message. Click this little message button here. It's just walking you through again. Because it thinks this is the first time I've done this, it's walking you through how to send a message. You can add other people and make it a group chat by clicking the little person up here. Or you can just send Robin a message right now. Okay? Alright, so now let's move on to the community section. I know this is getting a little long, I apologize. So to go back, you just hit the back button up at the top, menu, 2018 USA Games, and that gets you to the home screen. So let's jump over to the community section. As you can see here, this is what happens when you have a message waiting for you. Okay, there's a little, just like a little notification you get on your home screen if you have a missed call or a new text message. So, and not only do you have the little icon down here, but you have a little indicator that, oh, okay, this is where I still have an unread message. So this shows Terry Dallas logging on and introducing herself. So now that I've read that, I go back and those indicators are gone now because I've looked at it, because I've read it. Okay? So this section, again, kind of like the agenda, is mostly used for people who will be attending the USA Games. It's a place where you all can chat about places to go, things to do, places to see, restaurants. If you guys are thinking about getting an Uber from this location to this location instead of using the light rail or public transportation, you can say, hey, anybody want to share a ride? There are a couple of different topics for you to kind of get in on. If you favorite them over in the right-hand corner, or reply, then you will receive push notifications to your phone or your tablet updating you on what's happening in the messages that come through. So you can either favorite it over here, or bookmark it, sorry. Or you can make sure that you send a message and that you will receive updates for as long as that you've got it bookmarked or you've already replied. Okay. As mentioned earlier, it's also the section where all of our announcements will go. It's the very first one up here. Again, there's nothing there yet, but there will eventually. And then, or you could even create your own topic, which I know Jamie from the basketball team, mom from the basketball team, created a Team Missouri Family and Friends topic. So you can create your own topic or just post in already some of these created ones. If you are receiving too many notifications, like you posted in one of these groups and you want to stay up to date but you don't necessarily need push notifications for it, what you can do is you can click this little bell up in the upper right hand corner, and then all of the sections that you've posted in will show up here, and you can actually turn them on and off individually. So that's a nice little feature. Okay. Alright, finally, going on 30 minutes now, you have the messages section. It's down here. So again, it's showing me that I have 2 unread messages. And it looks like Robin has been in the basketball section. And we'll show you. So this is my messages section. Yours will not look like this. At the very least, if you're attending the USA Games in Seattle, at the very least, your coach or sport manager should have put you in your sport group. This is the way that they are going to be communicating with you while you're in Seattle. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for all of our coaches to send out just one message and not have to either input your personal cell phone numbers or, remember certain numbers. This is the easiest way for them to communicate. So please, please, please use, if you're trying to get a hold of your coach, if it's something personal, that's fine. You call them. But if it's something that might apply to everybody, or even if it doesn't and it's just not something super personal, post it in here. Okay, we want to try and take the burden of communication off of our coaches and just put it in one thing where they can communicate with everybody. Because maybe your question, another parent has the same question. So, this is where all of your personal messages will go as well. So you may see some messages if you've downloaded this app before for summer games or for indoor games. You'll see some of your messages show up here too. But if you're wanting to communicate with anybody individually or group message, this is the place to do it. So in order to set up group messages, what you need to do is you need to start a new post or start a new message up here. You're going to select from Team Missouri right here, and you can either search by name or you can just kind of search by your filters up here as we talked about earlier. So I want to send it to, is that Lisa and Bobby? I want to send a message to Lisa and Bobby. So once you're done with that, it'll tell you up here how many people you've added. Okay, so you're going to click Done. Alright, now it'll show you this page. So I have created this group where Lisa and Bobby are now a part of this group. To change the settings, you can change the name of this group message, but the idea is that you should just be able to set all this up and send out messages. If you want to change the settings, all you do for this group only, you click the cogwheel up here. And you can actually turn off notifications if you want, or if you want to delete the group, which I do, you can just delete and leave. Yes, leave group. So again, coaches and sport managers will be creating these groups and adding you to them as you've downloaded the app. So if you get a notification from the app saying that you've been added to a group, that's what it is. That's the best way to communicate with your coaches. I can't think of much else. That's pretty much it. If you have people who want to follow along from home, but they don't really want to download the app, there is a web-based version that is in the About section of this app. So it's just a web link where they can view all of this same stuff and look at the announcements. They just won't have it downloaded on their phone. So if you go to, I believe it's info, no, let me find it. Okay, so if you have somebody who's like that, what you'll need to do is you'll need to send them the link. So you click See More on the home page, okay, and then it tells you right here. If you have coaches who don't want to download the app, coaches or parents, well, it's more parents, not coaches, but do still want to receive all the information, the web-based version is right here. Click that link. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Well, I will fix that by the time this video gets posted, so it will work. So all you need to do is basically just copy the hyperlink and send that to that person. So please take the time to look through this app before USA Games. I'm happy to answer any questions or walk you through anything that you're not really understanding, but I can't do that probably a whole lot while we're in Seattle. So the sooner you get the chance to kind of walk through the app and figure out how you're going to use it, the better, to save us both some headaches when we actually get there. So please do that in the next couple of weeks before we leave. But if you have any other questions between now and then, I'll put my my email address is just my last name, SCHATSIEK @somo.org. Just feel free to send me an email, and I'm happy to kind of walk you through this. So if you have any questions between now and then, please let me know. Otherwise, we will check in with you guys later. Thanks. Go Team Missouri.